So guys, we have some brand new details and teasers from showrunner Eric Wallace talking about what we should expect for The Flash Season 9, such as returning villains, a potential spin-off, and some news on whether Season 9 will be the final season or not. So let's talk about it. Yo, what is going on guys, Flashverse here, and welcome back to another video on The Flash Season 9. And for today's video, I'll be going over this interview with showrunner Eric Wallace, and this is coming from Deadline. And yeah, Eric Wallace has revealed a couple of interesting things about The Flash Season 9, such as returning villains, a final season update, as well as a potential spin-off, and also certain storyline teases as well. There are a lot of interesting stuff he says, and this is why I will mainly focus on the more important parts of the interview. This interview was during the time before the Season 8 finale came out, so he does spend a lot of the interview talking about The Flash Season 8 and the finale as well. But don't worry guys, for this video, I mainly picked up the points related to Season 9. And like the more important stuff, such as like the spin-off and all of those sorts of stuff. So this video will have all like the important parts, as I said. But for those who want to just read over the whole interview, it will be linked in the description down below. But before I go over anything, however, you guys don't forget to drop a like on the video and subscribe to the channel so you are aware of more Arrowverse content coming your way. Okay, so the first question is in regards to the Reverse Flash, and they did talk about like the Season 8 finale and like the end of Reverse Flash. So this is a follow-up question, but Deadline asks, are we really done with the Reverse Flash? And Eric Wallace responds, at this point, yes. The negative Reverse Flash, just like Frost, is dead. Now, having said that, we've got another season, and I wasn't expecting that. I'm very happy about it, but just because the negative Reverse Flash is dead doesn't mean that Tom Cavanagh might not pop up on the show in some capacity in Season 9. I think I can say that without giving any spoilers away. Ha ha ha, so essentially he laughs. Now, this is a bit of like a weird answer he gives. He does say the negative Reverse Flash, so I think when saying that he's talking about like this new leveled up black suited Reverse Flash that we saw in the Season 8 finale when he got all like the negative forces powers. I think that's what he's talking about. But like the fact that he's saying like the Reverse Flash is dead, it like he's talking about Tom Cavanagh's version. I get that, because if he was talking about like Reverse Flash in general and saying like, oh, we're never gonna see the Reverse Flash again, that wouldn't make any sense. That would be quite worrying, because we know we do need the Reverse Flash eventually to make this whole Flash story come full circle. We're going to need the younger Bart for it to work. So we're going to have to bring in Matt Letcher. But in regards to like Tom Cavanagh, I think that's the version of the Reverse Flash Eric Wallace is talking about over here. He is done. Tom Cavanagh's done in the role. He's clearly like dead right now. So in regards to that version of the Reverse Flash, he is definitely dead. But if he's talking about the Reverse Flash in general, that wouldn't make too much sense. So that could be kind of worrying if he's talking about like the Reverse Flash in general, but I think he's just, as I said, talking about Tom Cavanagh over here, which, as I said, makes sense. He was pretty much done. But in regards to like him mentioning Tom Cavanagh might pop up in some capacity in Season 9, I think he's probably talking about like Timeless Wells over here, because of course Tom Cavanagh does also play the other versions of Wells who are now dead, and we only have Timeless Wells right now, so I think he could appear over there. But like in regards to like Reverse Flash, I think this is it for Tom Cavanagh, unless we get some like time travel episode or something along those lines. But the next question is, a few cliffhangers are presented in the final moments of Season 8, after Barry and Iris hint that the negative forces will need to choose a new avatar going forward. Mark Blaine is met with an unseen character emerging from his consciousness resurrection chamber. What can you tell us about what you've set up over here? And Eric Wallace responds, there's two separate things there. I'll answer the first thing first, which was the negative Speed Force avatar. Yeah, it's funny. It says in the episode, as Dion has been pointing out all the way back in 8:15, there has to be balance in the universe, which means that there must be a negative Speed Force avatar. And since we just saw one die, I'm pretty sure that the negative forces are going to have to come up with a new one. The question is, who will that be? Stay tuned, I'm pretty sure you'll get the answer to that sooner rather than later. The next thing is, what's in the box, right? Oh, I'm not going to tell you that. Tune in for season 9 and you will find out immediately what's in the box. The big clue as to what's in the box is the voice. This is Danielle Panabaker's voice, so some version of Danielle Panabaker's coming out of that box. The question is which one? Let the debate begin because there's many ways to go. So, of course, in regards to like the first part, in regards to like the negative Speed Force avatar, of course, we have been left on a very interesting cliffhanger where we go off to 2049 and we see this like blue crystal like emitting with like flames. So of course that led to the speculation that this could be the show's take on Cobalt Blue, which I think is the case. I think this could very possibly be a Cobalt Blue villain tease, and I think that would just be really, really cool if we do get that. But again, of course, it is possible that this could be someone else as well. I think that this, as I said, I personally think that this will be the show's version of Cobalt Blue, and it seems like he's going to be the new avatar of the negative Speed Force, which is going to be quite interesting. In regards to like the second part with the Frost cliffhanger, it's pretty obvious that Killer Frost is reborn. The question is, will this new version of Frost turn into Caitlyn? Once again, will it be like a split personality thing where it's going to be one body but we're going to have Frost and Caitlyn? Or is this going to just be full on Killer Frost? I'm interested to see what they're going to do with this character. I don't want it to be too repetitive like season 3. But in the same time, I do also think that if they're going to make Killer Frost the villain, she's going to have to become Caitlyn eventually before the show ends. So that is kind of worrying. But if they do keep this new Killer Frost like a full-on Killer Frost full-time, I think that would be pretty cool. Just keep her there as a villain. I think that would be pretty interesting to see. Also, Eric Wallace did say there will be consequences for whatever Caitlyn was trying to do. So that is interesting as well. So for now, I think that this is just full-on Killer Frost is reborn. But as I said, in regards to whether we will see her become Caitlyn again, I don't know about that. Hopefully not. Although I would love to see that, but it doesn't look like that will be the case. But in regards to the next question, Deadline asks, what can you tell us as far as who will appear in season 9? Any big new villains? And Eric Wells responds, I'm now going into the 3rd season of The Flash where I don't know whether or not it's the last, right? So I did this at the end of season 7 and then I got an 8. I did it at the end of season 8 and then now I got a season 9. Now I'm doing it in season 9 and I hope I get a season 10. But just in case, get ready for some very familiar old faces villains from the past throughout the entire 8 seasons. You're going to see some old faces coming back and we're going to have some fun, including some very, very big fan favorites. So this is very interesting. Now, of course, in regards to like returning villains, like get ready to see some old faces. Of course, we could see some old metahumans from the past coming back, which would be pretty cool to see. But also in regards to Eric Wallace saying, we're going to have some fun, including some very, very big fan favorites. Of course, the main question comes in where Eric Wallace continuously gets asked if we're going to get Zoom back. And every single time that comes up, Eric Wallace always does say that he's determined to bring Zoom back. Zoom is his favorite villain on the show, and he would love to bring him in some way. And Eric Wallace has said this many times. He said he's determined to bring Zoom back. He's going to find a way to make it work. And of course, in season 8, we did of course get that Godspeed and Zoom article. So maybe we could get something like that happening. And that would actually be pretty damn cool to see. But hopefully it is Zoom. I don't know, but it is possible. As I said, Eric was very determined to make this happen. So if we will get it in season 9, and also bear in mind, season 9 might be the final season. So this could be very, very possible. But we could, of course, see Zoom back. We could potentially get Savitar back. Maybe like Matt Latcher's Reverse Flash coming back. It would be really, really cool. But in regards to very, very big fan favorites, this time I would say that this could potentially be when we will get Zoom back. But again, I don't want to keep my hopes up because Eric Wallace does say this every single season and it doesn't happen. But the fact that this might actually be the final season, it does make it a bit more possible than the previous times he said it. But yeah, the next question is, when do you think you'll know whether The Flash's 9th season will be its last? And Eric Wells responds, it's the question I get asked every 5 minutes. I wish I could answer it. I wish I knew. I hope I will know by the time we start shooting this fall. I think that's a fair statement, so stay tuned. Now, of course, this has been an ongoing discussion for like many months now, and that is, will The Flash Season 9 be the final season? Now, personally, I don't want it to be the final season. I think it is very likely for it to be the final season, but it just doesn't make sense that they get so close to not only hitting 10 seasons, but also getting a 200 episode milestone. So it just wouldn't make too much sense for them to just stop there in season 9. Well, of course they could, but why stop when you're so close to that milestone? And even if it's like an abbreviated final season, even if it's a 10 episode season, I think they will try and hit that milestone. Of course, Eric Willis does want more if they're able to do it. So that does, of course, undermine the fact that season 9 could be the final season, because Eric Willis is like very enthusiastic of it. Grant Gustin seems like he would be down to do it, as it would of course be a shorter season as well. In regards to like the rest of the cast, that doesn't matter at all. Anyone else could leave as long as Grant's willing to do it. It will happen. But the thing is also, like I've said this before, like you can't really do much with Barry anymore. He's already at this point where he's like super leveled up. He's much more confident than before. He is like a fully grown Flash at this point. And same goes for like other characters. You can't really develop them more than what happened in season 8, because everyone has literally been on their A game right now. So you can't really do more with that. So that, of course, does make sense to end off in season 9. Of course, they wrapped up the Reverse Flash, or a version of the Reverse Flash at least. So in regards to my opinions on it, although it is very possible for season 9 to be the final season, this did come up in season 8 as well, where of course Eric Willis did think that season 8 was going to be the final season, and they ended up getting season 9. So I think it's on the same boat over here, but I think it's just a bit more possible than before. So I would say that it's likely that we're going to get season 10. It is also very likely that season 9 will be the final season, so I guess we don't know for sure, but Eric Wallace did say that we will get answers soon enough. So he said that he will know by the time they start shooting, so hopefully we get some answers then. But in regards to the next question, where are you exactly with the new season? And Eric Wallace says, and now bear in mind, as I said, this is during the time before the season 8 finale came out. And so Eric Wallace responds, I literally just finished the season 8 finale today to get it to air on Wednesday. The season 8 season finale is the biggest one we've ever attempted. There's so many special effects. It's so incredible. I had a blast writing it, and we thought that this was going to be a series finale. So we had this huge, incredible battle between Grant Gustin and Tom Cavanagh, so it was incredibly difficult to fully realize it and get into the screen. But I'm happy to say that we did. I'm so excited for people to see this on Wednesday. After that, I'm literally taking a few weeks off, and I'm not going to think about season 9 at all. Yes, I do know what the end of season 9 is already. We have multiple big bads next year. We're going to continue our graphic novel format. I don't know how many episodes I've got, quite frankly, so if I get enough episodes, we'll have 3 graphic novels just like this past year. If I get less, then I'll act accordingly, but there'll be at least 2 graphic novels with at least 2 separate big bads, one of whom is a blast from the past. This is very interesting. So in regards to how Eric Wallace knows that they're going to end season 9, of course, once again, he's probably going to do it like he did season 8, where he's going to make it look like the series finale, because as of now, he doesn't know if season 9 will be the final season or not, so maybe he's going to do something like that already. And we're going to continue our graphic novel format, which is very nice to hear, because it just keeps these storylines much more interesting, much better paced, and just very well made in general. Of course, we get 2 different, well, in regards to season 8, we got 3 different main storylines, and I just found that really just engaging, really just kept us all gripped. So I'm happy we're staying with the graphic novel format. In regards to the interludes, I don't know if we'll get any, but yeah, it's great that we're sticking to that formulaic approach that we got for the past couple of seasons. But in regards to the end bit, which Eric Wallace says, there'll be at least 2 graphic novels with at least 2 separate big bads, one of whom is a blast from the past. So does this mean that we could get a fan favorite villain from the past becoming a main villain for one of the graphic novels? That would be really cool. Now, of course, I don't want to hype things up too much. It could just be someone we've seen before but wasn't really a big bad, or it could be Eddie Thawne as Cobalt Blue. That would be really, really cool to see. Of course, he's from the past, but again, it's a new villain, and from that Cobalt Blue teaser, it could make sense, and they could go for that approach. Of course, we could get Zoom as a big bad if Eric Wallace wants to go for that. I don't think it will be, but it's very interesting that he did say it's a blast from the past, so that does get me very, very hyped up. But I guess we will have to wait and see. But the next question is, do you know yet whether Season 9 will feature any kind of crossover event? And Eric Wallace responds, I don't have a sense yet. That's usually driven by the CW, the network. There are no plans for anything like that at this time, but I might get a call tomorrow. Now, this is kind of sad since, of course, this would have been the 10th year anniversary crossover if we did get anything like that. And I was hoping that Eric Wallace potentially had something planned, such as like a short 5-episode event like we did Armageddon. So I was hoping for Eric Wallace to go for something like that, but it doesn't look like we're getting, which is quite disappointing. But as I said, he did say that it's driven by the CW and the network, so maybe they might plan something for that. But again, like going by what they've been doing with like the other shows, such as Superman and Lois, where they've confirmed that it's not part of the Arrowverse, it's going to be harder than before. So I don't know, like what they did with Superman and Lois makes it less likely, so I don't think we'll get a crossover, which is quite sad, but maybe we could get something like Armageddon, which would be something I would really, really love to see. But from what Eric Wallace said over here, I don't think that's going to happen. But the next question is, The Flash will surpass Arrow next season as the longest running Arrowverse series on the CW. What does it mean to you to be hitting that milestone? And of course, Eric Wallace responds, we'll be at 184, 185 episodes, something like that. Something insane. Given the climate that we're in with short seasons and short orders, it's quite frankly a miracle, and I'm so proud to be part of something as special as this. It's something that we as writers and producers and directors and even the studio and the network, something that we take very seriously. There may not be more shows that get a chance to run more than 180 episodes, so we're going to try this season 9 to make each one just a home run if possible. So of course that is some very, very nice stuff that Eric Wallace does say over here. But the final question is, are there any potential Flash spin-offs being looked at this point? And Eric Wallace responds, no, because you don't really start looking at spin-offs until you think you're not coming back. And I'm not thinking that way. Now, having said that, obviously we've introduced a lot of characters over the past couple of seasons. I would say to the audience, if you have some characters that we have introduced in the last few years that you want to see in a spin-off, you could write it to the CW. But I'm going to stay focused on The Flash right now before I start focusing on anything else. Now, in regards to like potential spin-offs for The Flash that we could get, it's of course the most likely one would be a Bart and Nora spin-off. I think that's the one everyone would most want to see if like when The Flash ends and if we get a potential spin-off. I think that would be the one everybody would want to see. But again, you have to think, like, it does look like they're trying to end the Arrowverse from what they're doing, especially like as I said, what they did with Superman and Lois, and of course Gotham Knights is not part of the Arrowverse. They've ended Batwoman, they've ended Legends of Tomorrow. Stargirl, we don't even know if it's part of the Arrowverse or not for 100%. So The Flash is technically the only Arrowverse show at this point, so it does look like they're trying to end it, but again, I don't know for sure. But then again, you have to think, like, if you get like a speedster spin-off, it would just be like The Flash. So like you also have to take into account, is there really a point in getting that? Like, yes, it would be really cool to see these other characters have a spin-off, but it would just be like The Flash. So what would be the point? Like, that was like one of the main issues with Green Arrow and the Canaries. Like, yes, you have these new characters, but it's essentially Arrow 2.0. And is that something like you would really want to see, despite it being different characters? Like, I think that would just be the only issue, but it would be really, really cool to have a spin-off as well, so I wouldn't really complain if we do get some. But yeah, guys, thanks for watching. If you guys have enjoyed the video, please give a like and subscribe. Be sure to tell me in the comment section down below if you guys are interested and excited for The Flash Season 9. I'm interested to see all of your thoughts towards all of this as well. And yeah, I will see you guys in my next video.